If you're having trouble keeping up with rising prices, there are 7 things that you really ought to do with your money right now.
Hi, if you're not familiar with us, I'm Larry.
And I'm Hope.
And we're from Under the Median, where every week we talk about practical frugality.
So are we in a recession? Experts are actually saying no. But you know what my mama said? She always said, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. But here's the truth. Even if we're not in a recession, I really do think, we think you ought to be treating your money like we are in a recession. Now, what do we mean by that? We've given hundreds, and I do mean hundreds, of tips and strategies over the past 2 years on this channel about how to save money. But sometimes that's just honestly overwhelming. So we thought it would be a great idea to just call it down to the 7 most important things we think you ought to be thinking about your money right now. In the midst of, we're going to say it, a recession.
Step number 1, you need to be tracking your expenses. You need to know where every dollar is going.
You need to know how much money is coming in and, of course, how much money is going out. To do that, you need to pick a method, any method of tracking your expenses. Honestly, yes, you can use an online program. We've said repeatedly that we use Dave Ramsey's free every dollar budgeting program. We use the free version. We don't pay for the paid version, guys. But for over 20 years, I just used a 3-ring notebook and a pen or a pencil every month. It works, but you know what doesn't work? Not writing it down, not tracking it, not knowing where your money is going. That, I guarantee you, especially when prices are going like crazy like they are right now, that's not going to work for you. So pick a method, stick with it, and make sure that you know where your money is going. Because honestly, that is the only way to truly understand how the rising prices are impacting your family. Otherwise, you're just guessing.
Step number 2 is find areas in your budget where there is some flexibility. This is really important that your budget becomes more fluid during times where it's being kind of crimped on all sides.
By fluidity, what we're really talking about is that you know which areas of your budget do you most likely and most easily have the ability to lower in order to move some money from one budget category to another budget category. Here's what we're finding. Tell us in the comment section if you're like us. What we're finding out that is going up dramatically is our utility bills. So we know that there are certain areas of our budget where we're like, we could shave 10% off of there. And really, we could move that 10% to the utility bills if we need to. That's what we're talking about with fluidity.
Literally everything that you look at is going up. So you have to be able to make adjustments, and you need to look at it more often. So we're looking at it every 3 months, or even more often than that if we need to make some small adjustments here and there to kind of make it work.
I think you're right. It's all going to be about micro adjustments as you go through.
I have an analogy.
Oh, good. I love your analogies.
Okay, so when you're driving a car down a highway, you make little micro adjustments to the steering wheel. In fact, you make so many adjustments, you don't even know you're doing it. If you counted how many adjustments that you made just in 1 mile, I think it would be mind-boggling. And that's what you have to do now with your budget. Make those small adjustments to keep your budget on track. Step number 3, shop around or ask for a better deal.
Because my mama told me, you better shop around.
You know, it's really typical. Once you sign up for a plan that you might be on, you get very comfortable with spending the same amount of money every month on that plan. So it almost becomes an automatic thing. And we hate being bothered by all these little things, but it is a good idea to take a hard look now when we're being crimped so much. Take a look at that plan and see if there can't be some adjustments made into it.
Shop competitors. Find out what other companies are charging for the exact same service that you are paying for right now. And it does pay to shop around.
And once you've shopped around, if you still like the plan and the service being provided by the person that you're relying on, go back to them and mention, hey, such and such company is going to give me this offer. Can you meet or match that? And they know in many cases, if they don't, you're ready to jump ship, because we have to do everything we can right now to keep that ship floating.
Here's another great example. Cell phone providers. Now, we just made a huge, major change in our cell phone provider, and we have been so incredibly happy with that change. We are so excited that Mint Mobile is sponsoring today's video. We asked our kids, what do you know about Mint Mobile? They said, owner Ryan Reynolds and his really funny commercials.
Hey there, it's Ryan Reynolds, owner of Mint Mobile. Enticing, right?
All right, we can all agree Ryan is funny, but Ryan isn't actually the reason that Larry and I are super excited about Mint Mobile. We got about 4 reasons. We're going to run through them super quick for you. Reason number 1, we are saving money.
You know, Hope was paying $40 a month for her
absolutely.
plan, and she's getting as good of a plan with Mint Mobile, doing only $15 a month for the plan.
I can get service. Larry can get service. And we can bundle them together with Mint Mobile's modern family plan. With Mint Mobile, you can have as few as 2 people on that family plan, by the way, up to 5 people. I ordered an eSIM card, and in 15 minutes, my service was switched over to my new phone, and I was able to keep my number.
And if your phone isn't eSIM compatible, like this one, Mint Mobile will send you a SIM card absolutely free.
Third reason we really like Mint Mobile, their 5G network, which, by the way, is the largest in the nation. What does that mean for us? We took the boys to an antique car show in this little bitty town, literally in the middle of a cornfield. And I looked at my phone and I was getting 3 bars.
In addition, we love that all of the Mint Mobile plans include nationwide coverage, mobile hotspot, unlimited talk, and text. So no matter what plan you sign up for, you're going to get all of these premium services.
You want to check out Mint Mobile's plans for yourself, there is a link right down below. It's a special link in the description of the video. That link, by the way, is special just for under the median viewers. Once again, we're talking about premium wireless network service for as low as $15 a month. Here's the truth, guys. We honestly cannot believe that it took us this long to switch to Mint Mobile. Thanks, Mint Mobile, for sponsoring the video.
By the way, when you use that link and purchase service from Mint Mobile, we receive a little bit of a commission on each sale, but you get it at no extra cost. After you've freed up some extra money by getting a better deal, step number 4 is pay off debt.
When you are in a period of recession, anytime really, but particularly when prices are just going a little bit unpredictably high, then you want to make sure that you've got your debt paid off. 2 different ways to do it. You can use the snowball method, which means you're going to list those debts in order from the lowest debt to the highest debt and pay off the lowest debt first and work your way to the highest, or the avalanche method, which is
you pay off the highest interest rate first and then work your way down to the lowest interest rate. And just remember, when you pay off your debt, you're actually giving yourself a raise. You're now going to have more money to work with in your monthly budget because you no longer have those debt numbers, which are really negative numbers. Think about having an extra $100, $200, or $300 every month in your budget. What would you do with that money? We all can use a little extra money, especially right now.
Hey, tell us in the comments, what would you do with that extra money every month? You know what? If you are in debt and you need some inspiration, grab a set of our free goal trackers, will you? We'll make sure that there's a link to grab those in the description of the video.
Step number 5 is to create a bare bone budget. Now, I can remember 2 main instances in our life when we did this. One, when I got laid off in 2002, and the second one was when we were furiously saving for a house. And it really made a difference. We got to that budget and we stuck to it. We had to.
What is a bare bones budget? A bare bones budget is where you look at exactly what you need to pay in order to keep the roof over your head, the lights on, and to keep food on the table. Those are the bare bones items. So you're looking at food, shelter, transportation. Once you know that there's enough money to pay those items, then it actually takes so much like stress and pressure off of you. You're like, okay, I don't have to worry about paying the mortgage or paying the rent or having food on the table. Once you know those things, there's something I think that emotionally happens inside of you. And you're like, okay, now I feel like I have what it takes to be able to tackle everything else that needs to be looked at.
I guess in simple terms, it's just called peace of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is a much simpler way of saying it than the way I was saying it. Thank you. All right, moving on. Step number 6. Track the little extras you're spending.
Boy, it's so easy to rationalize. This only costs $1.25 out of the soda machine or out of the candy bar machine or at the garage sale. It's just so easy to rationalize small amounts of spending, but that's what gets us.
All right, trick question.
Yeah.
In your opinion, I'm asking you live on camera.
Oh, no.
Which one of us is more guilty of actually saying, it's okay, I'm just going to buy this and not tracking those little expenses?
I think I am.
Are you really? Because I was going to say both of us equally. That really was what I was going to say. I think there have been times in our marriage where one or the other of us was doing it. And that, my friends, is why it is super important to have an accountability partner. We've talked about this a lot. That's one of the ways that we were able to set and meet great big goals is we didn't fight against one another.
No. And you know what? That helped me to not spend a little money here and there because I knew that I had to come home, get the expense book out. I'm talking about when we were in our early stages of marriage. And I had to write that little thing in there because we tracked every dollar. And it's like, okay, now I have to be accountable for this item that I bought, maybe that I shouldn't have bought.
Here's a really good analogy. There have been times in our budget that we have looked at those little extras. The reason it's important to track them and write them down is because you don't honestly realize what they're costing you until you look it square in the face. Larry at one point was buying candy bars every week from work. And from the vending machine, 50 cents a candy bar.
And soda. I was buying soda, too.
And soda.
Yeah.
So he was spending $5 every week on soda and candy bars. Doesn't sound like much, right? You're like, oh, $5. What's $5? Let me tell you what $5 is. $5 is $20 a month. $20 a month is almost $250 a year. Remember we just asked you, what would you do with an extra $100, $300, $500? Because that was per month. But what would you do with an extra $250? Is it worth not buying the soda and the candy bars from the vending machine every day at work? You have to look at those little things now more than ever, I think.
Step number 7 is you want to establish money-saving routines.
Habits are really, really powerful things. Let us give you an example of money-saving routines. How many of you, raise your hand, we're going to be honest here, have walked in the door after a long day of work and went, I just can't face getting supper ready, and you call for takeout pizza? Have we done it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course we've done it.
Yeah.
Everybody has done it.
Yeah.
When that becomes a habit that you are indulging in multiple times a week, you're spending an awful lot of money on food that, I mean, it's not really that good for you in the first place, right? But takeout is pricey. Changing your habits and changing your routines will help you to focus on saving money. If you have a weekly menu plan, if you have bulk cooking done for the week, if you have freezer meals ready. This was huge for us when we were changing those habits of just being tired and feeling like I just can't face actually getting supper on the table. The other thing that we did was we always knew, we called it like an ace in the hole supper. It was stuff that was in our pantry that we knew we could put together dinner in 20 minutes. So that was the goal. It was like this list of food in the pantry. We can open these cans, put this together in a pot. 20 minutes later, supper is going to be on the table. It was huge. It was like life-saving for us, or like money-saving for us, I should say, to help us to get out of that habit of calling for takeout pizza.
It takes a little bit of planning will prevent you from doing things off the cuff. So if you know you have a meal ready in the freezer, you can thaw out or put in the microwave, or you have some quick things, you can open a can or maybe cook some rice and have some rice and something to add with that, maybe some stir-fry vegetables that are in the freezer, then you've got something really quick you can put together, and even though you're tired, you can still do that.
What are your ace in the hole meals? Tell us in the comments section. Years ago, when we kind of changed these habits, one of our ace in the hole meals was macaroni and cheese. And of course, we're vegan now, so we don't eat macaroni and cheese, but that definitely was one of our meals that we knew 20 minutes later, supper was going to be on the table. You add a few things to that mac and cheese, and you actually can make it into a pretty decent meal. Rice and beans.
Oh, yeah, we
That's
do that a
always
lot.
like, that's definitely something you can get together really quickly, really easily. It's very inexpensive, and you can have it in 20 minutes. Because I think anybody can wait 20 minutes for supper to be done, but it's just that feeling of exhaustion. It overtakes you. But if you know you got a game plan, you're good to go, guys.
But there's ways to do things that are quick and easy, and it'll keep you from being tempted to spend money that you really shouldn't spend.
Here's the long and short of it. None of these 7 steps is hard. None of these 7 steps is time consuming. What these 7 steps will do is it will change your mindset
And your
and it will
habits.
change your habits.
Yeah.
And ultimately, you absolutely will save money, even though we are in a recession. In addition to these 7 habits, there are actually some habits that may be making it harder for you to save money. We did a video on those habits. It's right over there. Check it out.